this your boat? A woman, perhaps?
An American cowboy lands in wild Australia. Off the ship, he sees a wild woman fighting. Several big men just can't seem to control her. Quigley steps in to stop it, but she jumps into his arms, screaming for Roy and demanding that he chase all those bad men away. These thugs are shocked, never expecting some stranger to interfere in broad daylight.
Please take me home, Roy.
Excuse me.
Warns them, drops bags, then attacks. A brawl kicks off, and the guys are pathetic, so it's no wonder they bully a frail woman. Quigley takes them down with ease, and even though the woman tries to help, she just gets in his way. Quigley insists he's not Roy. He gives his name. They stop attacking once they realize they're actually there to pick him up. Quigley traveled far to Australia for their boss, hunting wild dogs, and they travel along the coast back to the ranch. During the break, Cora tries to get close to Quigley, but he tells her to back off, insists she stops calling him Roy, and sets some ground rules, though she seems quite interested in him. Quigley avoids her, but she stays very eager, and the decent man rejects all her advances. They reach the ranch. Marston comes to greet them, but Quigley demands pay as he steps off his wagon. He wants his payment before demonstrating his aim. He trained for months, and Marston can't refuse in front of his men. After collecting his payment of 30 gold coins, Quigley slowly pulls his legendary Sharps rifle, and the crowd watches in awe. This rifle was a rare beast. Quigley customized the 34-inch barrel, shooting 45 caliber metal rounds. With his special cartridges, the rifle can hit targets over 1,000 yards away. Everyone is stunned, but they don't grasp it. A man rides out with a bucket, moving far away, and they all doubt that Quigley can hit a target that far. Some think he's just bragging, but mockery doesn't faze him. He stays calm, adjusting his rifle sights for the big shot. He makes the rider stop, eyes target, and squats down, while everyone quietly watches him load. He checks the wind direction and adjusts his scope. At this slow pace, he'd never hit any wild dogs if hired. Marston loses his patience and tells him to move it closer, an interruption that clearly irritates Quigley. He raises his rifle and hits the target.
Oh, Jesus!
Everyone stares in shock, but Quigley isn't done. He fires 2 more shots until the bucket vanishes from view. Seeing such skill, Marston immediately hires him. Marston's men corner 2 British deserters. Before the pair can even fight back, they are cut down. Quigley is worried. Is he here to hunt dogs or men? Marston invites him to dinner and reveals his true reason for hiring him. Marston explains that his parents were killed by natives, and with official backing, he wants Quigley to help him exterminate them since they're becoming a problem. Quigley glances at the servant and realizes he isn't a killer, and he is absolutely furious at Marston's brutal plan to wipe out the local population. He tosses Marston out the door, leaving the cronies outside stunned, and even after Marston tries to storm back in to save face, he just gets tossed out again. Knowing he cannot win, he tells his men to hurry and grab Quigley. They surround the house, keeping a close eye on the inside. He downs his wine, kills the lights, flips the table, and sits there with a cigar, ready for them to come inside. The servant gets fed up with the posturing and clubs him unconscious. They beat him. Marston doesn't want him dead at the ranch, so he orders men to take him and Cora to the wild. The next morning, they are taken to the wild. What will be their fate? See you next time. A hurt pair is dumped in the wild by a driver. As they leave, they hear shocking news.
Got the gold. What'd he say? You forgot the gold.
The greedy drivers find the gold on him and demand it, but the injured man calmly says,
Leave us some water, and you can have the gold. I can have the gold anyway.
But he expected that. As the driver puts down the rifle to search him, Quigley manages to stab him and fight back. The terrified driver takes off on the wagon, so wounded Quigley grits his teeth, loads a .45 caliber round, and locks his sights on the guy trying to escape. His eyes are swollen shut, making it hard to see. Even so, he doesn't give up. He makes an adjustment and aims his rifle at the runaway. He kills the driver with one shot. Quigley is a cowboy who traveled to Australia because Marston hired him to wipe out the local people. That crosses his line, but he's powerless to fight back alone, which is why they beat him up and left him in the wild to die. After the drivers leave, Quigley cuts Cora's ropes, and they smile, fated to be stuck in this mess once again. They trudge through the heat, walking from dawn until night and through to the next day. Cora faints from the heat, and Quigley is left feeling hopeless. Since Cora, nothing has gone right. He thinks about leaving her, but his conscience gets the better of him. He carries her, looks for water, and passes out from exhaustion later that night. At dawn, he sees cavalry with bodies, sensing trouble. Marston assumes trouble. Learning 2 men are dead, he's shocked and vows to kill Quigley. Quigley is deep asleep, but waking up, he hears soft whispering all around him. The local tribe found them and took them in, but despite the tribal healers, they aren't recovering very well. The tribe has to work to wake them up, but when they do, they aren't afraid of the Aboriginals. They are just thankful to be alive. Quigley feels they are kinder than his own kind. He wants to bond with the natives. Soon, tribal women and kids gather, serving their best food. They are stunned, but when a native eats some and offers it to Quigley, he accepts. Cora asks if it is safe to eat, but seeing the kids' faces, he doesn't want to be rude. He forces himself to eat it, and the kids smile in satisfaction. At sunrise, the natives teach Quigley how to find water, while he shows them how to braid rope. Then the women give Cora a precious gift, so she gratefully trades a button off her own dress. They spend time in harmony, growing much closer, and while watching the children, Cora finally opens up about the painful secret she has kept buried for years. She calls him Roy because that's her husband's name. Years ago, drunk Comanches came to her home. She hid with her baby, and to keep them quiet, she covered its mouth and accidentally suffocated it. The irony is, they were found, yet they were not killed. Plagued by guilt, her husband forced her to go to Australia. Quigley stays silent, but he clearly feels for her. Cora wakes up to find Quigley watching the tribe leave without saying a word, and they both feel confused and pretty down about it. Then Quigley sees white men approaching the tribe, and he finally understands they left to protect him and Cora from violence. The men tell the women and kids to run. They see the danger as the white men attack, and a frantic Cora runs down to protect the tribe. Quigley sets up his rifle. The natives just want them gone, not dead. Whites only care about killing. Quigley steps in and downs the enemy with one clean shot. They panic, fearing an ambush. He shoots 2 more men.
马修趁他们逃跑又干掉一个，还有2个敌人朝洛丽塔而来。马修不紧不慢地瞄准敌人，一枪把其中的一个白人干翻。
The last man flees in terror, and Quigley rushes to the scene, only to find Cora grieving over her dead friend. And seeing this moment, he doesn't scold her. He understands her grief and feels helpless about the situation. She looks at him with such intense longing, but Quigley isn't ready to love her back, and he remains distant, despite how hard she tries to get close to him. He tries to open up, but she calls him Roy by mistake, and Quigley is just annoyed. It's clear she still loves her ex-husband, which is why Quigley can't open his heart. At dawn, they head back to the coast to leave Australia behind. Marston is training his men when a worker rushes in with news. The survivor tells Marston that Quigley is alive and wildly interfering with his plans to wipe out the local native tribes. He puts a bounty on his head. What kind of revenge awaits Quigley and Cora? They head out to the wilderness, looking for some peace. They hear distant screams and rush over, finding white men driving natives toward a cliff to jump. Seeing the tragedy, Quigley loses his temper and readies his rifle. When a man sneaks up on him, he puts him down before he can even fire a shot. Then he levels his gun at the butchers and pulls the trigger, drilling a hole through the heart of one of them. The others flee, realizing they are outgunned, and Quigley picks off one more. Cora hands him ammo, but Quigley says they have escaped. This is the second gang of butchers he's driven off, and his heart grows heavy. He can't act alone. Cora runs to the cliff base, shocked by the piles of bodies. Seeing the dead children, she collapses, reminded of her own baby's tragic death. Quigley checks survivors, finding a butcher breathing. He is one of Marston's henchmen. He pathetically begs for help and gives Quigley directions back to the ranch. But Quigley is cold as stone now and ignores the man's desperate pleas.
You got one shot left in that shooter. Make the most of it.
She hands him the gun. Quigley leaves. Shots ring out. Cora calms down, and while leaving, she hears a baby crying. She spots a living baby among the bodies, rushes to hold the child, and feels a spark of hope again. He watches them, and she looks at him with joy. But Quigley doesn't look happy. He's anxious, knowing this adds more risk and responsibility. They seek shelter and find a cave, settling in. Raising the child is a new problem. They can't feed it grilled lizards. There's no cow nearby, so Quigley realizes he must risk going to town for supplies. To get food, Cora stays in the cave with the baby and rifle. Quigley is stressed about leaving her all alone. He asks how Cora feels. She laughs, truly happy, as if she is raising her child again and enjoys this life. By morning, he leaves food and a weapon. She's not satisfied, asking Quigley to ride to town and fetch some red clothes. Quigley sighs and rides off. It's a 3-day trip, and Cora is left alone to protect the baby. At night, she misses him. Wild dogs appear, so she hides in the cave, but the baby won't stop crying. This time, she doesn't cover the baby's mouth, but tries to soothe it. Wild dogs approach the cave. Panicked, Cora covers the baby's mouth, but it cries louder. She gives up the struggle and just tells the baby to cry louder. She's ready to die, so she fires her rifle at the wild dogs to scare them off. Triggered, Cora recalls the Comanche raid, but Quigley's shots make the dingoes flee. A wounded dog crawls out, then eaten by the starving pack. While Cora is in danger, Quigley eats well, and he lets his friend's son play with his unloaded rifle as the boy shows interest. But when the boy tends his horse, Marston's men spot him and recognize the rider. They snatch the boy, and when Quigley and his friends step out, they realize it's a trap and spot the enemies waiting nearby. They exchange fire, and Quigley uses the house as cover, but he's eventually forced back inside as Marston's men swarm the building. With fire behind, a frantic Quigley rushes to another room. Enemies are everywhere. He can't go downstairs, so he must flee to the roof. He makes it to the roof, finds a gap in their defenses, knocks out a guard, and jumps to the next building, narrowly escaping his captors. But he is quickly spotted. Marston's men open fire on his spot, thinking they shredded him with bullets. Quigley crept through the drain, right behind them. He now sends them to their graves, one shot at a time. One survivor tries to surrender, but reaches for his gun, and Quigley, anticipating the move, shoots him before he can draw his weapon. He prepares to finish the fight, but stops when he sees his friend's wife has been killed in the crossfire. He feels terrible seeing his friend's pain. He grabs a fleeing enemy and tells him to warn Marston that he's coming for him, so he shouldn't bother trying to find him first. Can Quigley finish off Marston for good? A masked man crosses the desert to a cave, senses something wrong, and enters cautiously. Seeing blood in the cave, he panics, grabbing his rifle, but he finds Cora there, and she is totally fine. Last night, dogs harassed her, but the baby's safe. Cora's thrilled, regretting her past mistakes. She's happy she saved the baby. Quigley, heartbroken, calls her brave. To reward her for her bravery, Quigley gives her a new dress.
I didn't have a red one.
Oh.
They reach the coastal town, and the natives arrive asking for the baby. Though she's heartbroken, Quigley comforts her, and she returns the baby to the tribe. After a tearful goodbye kiss, at daybreak, Quigley slips out while she sleeps. Now, he heads for Marston to settle the score for his friend's wife and all the innocent natives that he killed. She wakes, runs out, and they share a heartfelt look.
You sure look pretty in the morning sun.
Quigley rides off, while at the ranch, Marston deals with his greedy men, asking if the bounty is truly 200 coins. Marston doesn't answer, but tells anyone doubting to dress up like him. Quigley reaches the ranch, and shots ring out. Marston senses trouble. Late that night, staff go out to check and see a horse galloping in the field. They let the horse in, and on its back find a note saying everyone can leave safely before dawn, except for Marston. Marston is mad. Does he think he's stupid? He orders his men to guard the perimeter, fearing a raid. They stay on high alert all night, but when nothing happens and they relax, Marston wakes them. As 3 men try to leave, a bullet streaks out and drills one right through the heart. The men take cover, searching for Quigley, but he's impossible to spot in the wild. Marston orders his men to scan the ridge until they finally find Quigley, but he suddenly steps out into the open, causing Marston to panic and command the rest of his crew to charge out there and help. He doesn't know they have already fallen into his trap. Quigley wanted to spare them, but since the 2 keep trying to kill him, he doesn't hold back and drops one right where he stands. Reinforcements arrive, but Quigley hides and takes out another. They trade fire, neither daring to show themselves. The enemies fight each other now. Threatened by his partner, the bearded man moves to flank him. Quigley sees it all clearly. As he thinks of a plan, he spots a big wooden post nearby, so he quickly shoots the rope. The post rolls down, crushing that bearded guy. He is scared now. He rises, pins them down, and they surrender right away. Quigley gets sneak attacked. Shot in the leg, he is captured by them.
I got him! I got Quigley!
He's dragged back to the ranch behind a horse. Marston mocks him, releases him, throws Quigley's rifle on the dirt for a duel, not realizing he is playing with fire against the very best. In a blink, he guns them all down. They might be fast here, but to Cowboy Quigley, they are easy targets, and he finally avenges his friend's wife. He avenges the tribe, and when the servant approaches him with a rifle, Quigley remains calm and holsters his weapon. He knows Marston was wiping out the tribe. He stands for justice, gives Quigley his gun, and sheds his Western clothes to return to his roots. Soon, the cavalry arrives to arrest Quigley. Suddenly, a wind picks up, and the soldiers look up to see thousands of Aboriginal warriors surrounding them, which even shocks Quigley. Seeing this, the cavalry drops the arrest and leaves the area. Quigley defeated the killer, and the tribe saved his life. Quigley Down Under gets its title. Natives look primitive, but hearts are cleaner than the cruel colonizers. Thanks for watching Mood Movie.